Hey guys, Mark here with the new 3D printed game. This is taking a spin on the old classic game Quarters. You guys have probably played this and seen it been played before, but you get a standard quarter and you try to bounce it into a glass, like so. So here's a new spin on it. So this is actually, I call it Quarter Challenge. It is a 10, or it's a six-sided 3D printed. It's in two pieces. There's a bottom piece and a top piece, but it's based on the same game of quarters, but there's different holes. So there's hole one, it's just a standard V shape. The quarter can easily fall right inside. It's just a little bit taller than the glass, about the same size, so it's just taller. The next hole two, I call it the Great Divide. There's actually two pockets. You can play either way. We've played that you have to make it in both of them to win. Either or also if you make it in two, you got to go back to one. Or you make it on the left side of two, you got to go back to one and replay one. Keep on going. Three is actually a more shallow pocket. It's the check mark. But there's a ramp. There's a pretty sharp ramp and a shallower one. So there is advantage to maybe even playing like this, or actually, I'm sorry, like this, playing like this and bouncing it backside. Let's see if I can get this one. Let's try it again. But jumping it up, and then it actually will stay inside there. Four gets a little more complicated. As you can see, the holes are getting progressively harder. Four is a shallower pit. This one is just as hard as one, but you need to hit it depending on how you play. Some people actually play like this compared to throwing against flat. So there is advantage to maybe playing flat instead of actually having it bounce, because it can, bounce out of there. So after four comes five. Five is a cool hole because it actually is not. It's actually smaller than what it is. So this does come into the advantage. You might want to play it tall ways so it does fall in, and or playing it at different angles. So depending on how you guys choose, you can say you can move it, you can't move it, certain things like that. So there's 5, 6. I would probably say is the hardest hole because it's just a flat top right on top. So you're going to have to land it, and then it's just going to have to stick. I've probably tried 20 times or so, and I was able to make it just like that, just to hang. So this is a very hard hole to play. But that's not over. So you got 6 sides, kind of new variations. There's 7th hole you can see inside of there. So the 7th hole is you actually have to bounce it into the 7th hole, and it'll stay. Some people like to play maybe even like this. You can play the 7th hole sideways. Still try to bounce it. It is easier to bounce it like this into 7th. Let's find where the 8th hole is. 8th hole is right here. I don't have it colored, but 8th hole is you play. You actually play how you have the 6th hole set up, and then the 8th hole is right here. So it's actually a lower deck shot. So it's bouncing, goes right into there. 9. It's 9 is actually very much like 8, but it's a deeper slot, so you actually have to hit it. Almost got to hit it like a backboard and slide it into its spot. And then coming up to 10, 10 is a doozy. 10 is a very shallow shelf. You can see it's a very, very shallow shelf. So you either bounce it, very short bounce, then it has to land up on it. I've seen it land and sit like that before, but very uncommon. Typically, you get it just right on the shelf. So that is the game. It's called Quarter Challenge. Come download it off Thingiverse and bring it to your next game and try it out. So we have played just a couple different ways to play. We've played going just through it, and then if you make it, and then everybody else has to make it, or they have to consume beverage, or 1 or 2 seconds. Other ways you can play 21. 21 meaning You have to get to 21 without going over, so you play depending on what holes you want to. If you want to go to one of the hardest holes, you can go shoot for it right off the top of the bat, but that is the hardest hole to hit. So you actually can maybe even choose different holes depending on which ones you're good at to get to 21 or any other number like that. And you can play pig. We use different words than pig, but you can say, hey, you have to make a shot straight on to one just like this. Or, here, let's see. Straight on to one and make it in. But don't have that really good that bounce on this wood, but you bounce it, you can go right inside of it. So there's a couple different ways to play. Great, a lot of fun. Gives you a different variation on this, the standard cup, and more to come. Hope you guys enjoy it.